So I'd like to talk to you today about the spiritual awakening alone journey. Now, this is a very profound journey that if you're on it or have been through it, it is a soul agreement that you made before you came here. And this is a journey that once you start it, you cannot get off this path until you complete it. And it has a very, very deep reasons and meanings behind it. But I qualify this alone journey as one where a person is spending the majority of their personal time alone. They might still go do work, still have, outings with family members or friends, but the majority of the time they are alone, and they have this deep calling to uncover more and more about themselves. Like the material things and the things that they used to have interest in, they just starts to fade away, disappear. It just doesn't speak to them. And it's almost like a single-minded purpose. Who am I? Who am I? And for many people, this calling, when it comes to you, it happens in a day. And something profound happens that day that rocks the foundation, your false foundation, and you can't go back. And I refer to the false foundation as the foundation that this life, your life here, was built off of. So we come into this world and, we forget who we are. And then we have the outside sources of this world that tells us who we are, where we came from, how to behave, what's important, what the definitions of things are, what's true, what's false. And that's all a false foundation. In your agreement, when you came into this world, you've already signed this agreement. But this agreement, your soul contract, was to go through this journey to strip all of that false foundation away and rebuild yourself from a place of authenticity, from your true foundation. And so when this single event happens, in my case, I lost my son. It just cracked my foundation wide open because I lost all my barriers, everything. I let go of everything because I went into this deep period of grief and nothing else mattered. And while that was extremely hard, it also enabled me to be open to seeing something new because I had just shattered everything about my world in that single day. But other people hear just this calling, and when they hear this calling, they just kind of move over to this path, and now they're on it. It's like a magnet. It just pulled them in, and there they are. And once you get on this path, you cannot get off it until you're done. And your spirit team comes in and puts this barrier around you. And you might try to go do this or try to go do that, try to pull in this or try to pull in that. You might try to create a dream and watch it just dissolve through this process. And at times it can feel so hard, and the loneliness can be crippling that you wonder, are you being punished? But this is not a punishment. This is a journey. And the things that you learn along this journey are just as important as who you will be at the end of this journey. Because it's not just about rebuilding you and yourself from your authentic state. It's also about these collective healings and the collective changes in the vibration that's happening on the planet. And so you're being asked to, first off, to rebuild yourself, listening to your authentic voice. And the only way you can find your authentic voice is to go inside you and to pull out these layers and these things that are blocking you so that you can hear yourself. And, unfortunately, the longer you've been alive on this planet, the more layers you have to work through. And so other people, if they came in and you had other people around you, whether you're conscious of it or not, we can take in the reflection of how somebody else sees us into ourselves, and we can build ourselves and change ourselves, including that reflection. And that is not what's being asked of you. What's being asked of you is to build yourself from your own authentic truth. So these people, if any do come in, you'll find them just like stripped away before you even know what happened, because you have this agreement, and you finding your own voice and not including the reflection of others is what helps to change not only your vibration of authenticity, but the planet. So we have this call out, right now, where's the truth? We want to know the truth. We'd love our governments to tell us the truth, right? What happened in these situations, what's being kept from us, what are all these files that have things hidden away from us. There's this mass collective desire for the truth, but that's also an internal desire. And you can't have all of that be outside if you don't have that inside. If the inside of you is not in a place of authentic truth, then the outside will reflect that vibration, and we will never get the truth that we're looking for. So you doing this work is also helping to change the vibration and help transmute these false beliefs that we have, these lies that we've been told that are just sitting out there, back to vibrations of truth. And the more authenticity that starts to come up within us as individuals, and the more truth of divine truth that we seek, find, and enable and bring out in ourselves, we now send this out into the collective. We now start to not give these false beliefs, false information, false whatever, of places to sustain themselves. We're transmuting them. So by you going inside yourself and doing the deep work to clear away what's not true about you, you're also reflecting that, then becomes reflected out into the collective. And so we have the other people, and you might have people come in and then they leave very quickly. The time that they could add on to your journey, if they stayed, is part of the reason they don't stay. Because who you are at the beginning of this journey and who you are as you go through this journey will not be the person you are at the end. Because by the end of this journey, you know who you are and you stand in your own authentic state. And if someone were to come up to you at the end of this journey and try to show you a reflection of you that they would want you to keep on yourself, you'll be able to see that and not allow it. And these are not, adversarial types of interactions, because some people may do that unknowingly, but there might be inauthentic people that come up to you, and your vibration at the end of your alone journey will be in such a state that one of two things will happen. Either that person will not be able to sustain themselves to be around you because they're not in their authentic state, so they'll disappear out. Or even better, they will now have their inauthenticity reflected back to them. And that will start them on their own journey. And so the parts of this that are loneliness is really meant to protect you and to allow you to do that deep work that you asked to be done. And the ways that we prolong it ourselves is the fighting of it. But we do it, and we're human, so it just happens. But also the people that you really want in your life, those are the people that you are ready for when you're near the end of the journey. That's when you start to call them in, when you're near the end of the journey. because your vibration of who you are and who you attract into your life will change so much over the course of this journey. Now, my alone period lasted 5 years. Like, there are times when you're really up because you're very clear, and then you have another like huge piece that you have to work through, and your vibration can, plummet at times when you're doing some of that hard work. And so you've got the up and the down, but all through that, you also still have these layers on you that you're trying to transmute back to your truth. And you can't, and until you do that, anybody you attract in will also have a reflection of that in them. And so who you're looking for and the things that you really want to create in your life, you want to actually do that from the place of being as pure and as honed into your honest, true self as you can. You want to have as many of these layers and as many of these false beliefs off of you, so that as you create these, they are in the place of being from your divine soul and your true foundation. And they get easier, and they're more fun, and they're more joyous. Now, that part sounds great, but getting there, is not as easy. But let's talk about the other benefits of how doing this journey, how this helps you. So you're going through all of these deep learnings, and in order to transmute them, in order to pull some of these layers off of you, you have to look at these negative situations that happen to you and these negative things that you learn. And as you look at these negative things, that's the journey of the light, right? Understanding the dark to now be able to understand the light more. And that's what you do. You take those experiences and now you understand them. You know what they feel like. And when people come to you when you're done with this journey, and they will come to you, you will be able to relate to them. You'll be able to understand because you've experienced it yourself. But you've taken all of those negative experiences, and now you've said, okay, what is it that it's taught me? And by doing that, you transmute it back to love, and you bring your view of it higher and higher until you get it to where you understand it from a place of love. And now it's transmuted. And so one of the exercises that I went through, as I like to do with some of these emotions, and we can take the emotion of loneliness, the vibration of loneliness. It's a false vibration, right? And as you go through this on I'm alone all the time, you start to dive into yourself. And this is where you build your relationship with your guides and the support that you have on the other side that is telling you over and over again, because they show you through this journey that you're not alone. And so you're learning that, the other multi-dimensional piece of yourself, because you're saying I'm lonely because I'm sitting here in my place of residence alone and I'm not with other people. But also in this place with you is your spirit team, your ancestors, your, whoever from the other side is helping you, galactic family members that you can't see. And you start to bridge this gap of this life and the other dimensional lives and the other part of your soul, your higher self. But as you sit there and pull out these things, and I did loneliness it took me 3 days to work through that one. And I sat with it and I did this what if game. I said, well, what if none of this ever happens for me? What if I don't find a partner? What if I don't find the tribe that I want? What if I can't create the things that I want to create? What if I do all this work and I don't get anything? And that was when it hit me that those were the things that were actually holding me back from having the things that I wanted. So when you sit with yourself and you start asking questions and dive down as deep as you can and say, how does this impact me? Well, what if it never happened? If you pull all of that up and then you have a vibration with any of the questions that come to mind, because some questions that come to mind, you may go immediately, nope, that's not me. I don't have to worry about that. But others, you'll have this aha moment. And then you have to look at yourself. And that's when you start to tackle this vibration of lack. And this vibration of lack is also a vibration that we're meant to heal. And the work that you do as you go through this and pull out of yourself, it also helps to heal this vibration of lack in the collective. So what if nothing ever happens? I just did it. I took it all and I laid it on the altar. I said, my life doesn't change at all. I do all this work and nothing changes about my life. What then? And that's when I realized I loved myself completely and totally. I would protect her. She's never alone because there's all of this spiritual help that's always here with her. And then so I'm looking at myself separately at this point, but there's this spiritual help that's here, and there's my guides that are here. And wait a minute, what else is this teaching me? Oh, wait a minute. If I had to have somebody else in here to be happy, then that is a lack vibration, meaning I can't be happy within myself. And that was my aha moment with that. Can I be happy within myself? Because you are not meant to be here alone. We didn't come to earth to all sit here in our own little places and be alone. We came here to have experiences and have joy. But you started this intense journey. And the point of this intense journey is to take all of this out. So at the end of this journey, you do not create where you have these emotions of lack inside yourself. False emotions inside yourself, or negative emotions, I should say. And so sit with them and put them on the altar. And I would also recommend you put your dreams on the altar and you surrender them all. And just let them go. And that might give you a for a minute. But the reason is, in the beginning, who you were and the dreams that you had, they will change over this journey because you're changing. And some of the dreams might just disappear. Some of them might alter. And new ones might come up. But the dreams that you really want to bring in are the dreams that you sit with at the end of the journey, when the vibration of you is as close to authentic you as it can be in this life. That's when you want to pull them in. But you also, by surrendering everything and remembering that all I have is this moment I'm in, this very moment. And I'm going to choose to love myself. I'm going to choose to be happy. I'm going to choose to be in joy, and I'm going to choose to be in trust. If you get to that state, then the dreams that come out, they come out with such purity. And you have to remember, you'll be creating things so much faster at that point. So you'll go through this period of lack, this period of loneliness, it feels like, this period of hardship. And also, there's also these really deep, profound, awakening moments that you have. And those are the moments that just keep you going. But when you surrender everything, now you're letting the universe, you're letting your higher self, you're letting your soul say, okay, let's see who she is, who he is now. What are they pulling in? And those are the things that you really want to come in. Your higher self, it knows you. It knows you at a level that you, even after you do all of this work, you still won't know yourself at, because there's parts of it still hidden from us. But your soul knows. And if you give it the freedom to pull those things out for you, let it surprise you. It's a beautiful gift. So now let's talk about some other benefits. And one of the other big ones is the heart chakra and the love that you transmit out into this world. So through this process, you get much clearer. Your intuition gets clearer. Your relationship with your higher self gets clearer. Your relationship with your guides, with your assistance from the other side gets clearer. Your gifts get activated at a higher level. Like you have a more sense of wholeness within you. And your heart chakra, through all of this and the blocks that get removed, is sending out this vibration of divine love into this planet. And divine love is a vibration of unconditional love. Not this vibration of love that exists in so much of the world that has conditions on it. Divine love has no conditions. And so now you're helping to heal the false love vibration that is on this planet. And yes, it sounds like a lot. It is a lot. But everything that we do, every part of this that we go through this journey, and understand it's not just about us. It is also about what we take in and what we transmit out. It changes and can change our whole living situation, our whole way of life in ways that we don't even know exist today, but will benefit us greatly. And so I will say also, though, however, that there is one part of this I haven't spoken about, and I'm going to do a whole separate video on that, is the negative contracts that impact this journey, because they can absolutely hold you back while you're on this journey. They can make it last longer. Like if you go through something and you feel like I've learned this lesson, and then boom, you're back at the beginning. You're like, why do I keep, like a boomerang, why do I keep going back? Those are these contracts that are in place that have to be broken. And so I will talk about that in a separate video coming out soon. And I will also tell you that I do have some sessions available if you're looking for someone to help you, like if you feel a little buried at the moment. Keep in mind, you're meant to go through this journey and listen to your own voice. But there are times on this journey that you do just need somebody to help you pull off some of the layers so you can get clarity. Some points you might feel like you can't breathe and you need somebody to help pull off layers for you. In other cases, you just feel stuck, like you just can't get past this point. And that's usually when you need some outside help to come in and help pull these things off of you. And then you continue on your way. Because through this journey, you will learn how to do that for yourself as well. And then you'll also learn how to do that for others. And the cycle continues. Anyway, well, so I do thank you for watching this video to the end if you made it. If you book a session, I look forward to working with you. Otherwise, I will catch you in the next video where we will talk about all things negative contracts. All right.